The next team we have the Adelaide 36ers. I would say it's been an early start to the morning, but when you haven't wrapped up from last night, I'm not sure which morning I'm talking about. It's been an unbelievable off-season for the Adelaide 36ers. We know they made headlines and then quickly became a must-watch team for many reasons. Please welcome to the stage Adelaide 36ers coach Mike Wells and now the sixth-time MVP Bryce Cotton. Well, thank you guys for joining. Easiest question of all time. BC, how are you feeling right now? I'm always feeling good. I'm always feeling good because we get to talk about some hoops. We'll start with questions in the room.
Bryce, drinks were on you last night. How many rounds did you buy? How did it end up?
Enough to give everybody a good night, so everybody was happy.
That's very vague.
It is.
Is the head a little dusty this morning?
No, I'm good. I feel brand new.
I love that for you. Who's next?
Mike, could we get your reaction? I don't think we've heard it yet to Bryce's win last night, and is that something that could potentially, rally the group?
Well, yeah. Number one, super proud of him, and huge congratulations. I think that doing what he's done in this league and for Perth, and then to be able to come to a new organization and new teammates and a whole new situation, new coach, all those things, and it just solidifies his greatness and what he's done in this league. It's been amazing. So for our group, though, everybody was really, really pulling for him, and we wanted this to happen for him, and I think that the guys really played that way all year, right? A lot of the things we do, the ball starts with Bryce and it finishes with Bryce, and in between we're all kind of connectors. So we had a lot of guys pulling in this one direction and trying to make this happen.
Bryce mentioned last night that he has a great connection with his teammates, and it's something along the lines of that he hasn't had a connection with his teammates like he has this season. What's it like as a head coach to hear your MVP say that about your group?
Well, I think that just sort of validates, trying to rebuild the culture and try to put a new group together, and all the things that you do as a coach, and try to build, where they care about each other on the court and off the court. And, you preach all these things about passing, and, the more you give, the more you're going to get. But, when it does turn out that way, and you see that you have a locker room full of guys that actually do, fit together on the floor or off the floor, makes you feel good, that those pieces all kind of fit together the way you thought maybe the puzzle pieces would fit together in the summer. You kind of put them down and see how they're going to kind of fit together. And, that it worked out to a degree, that a lot of people had a really successful year individually, and then collectively we did, during the regular season.
And for Bryce, the end to your team season was sort of up and down. You have 2 weeks now to sort of prepare for your first semifinals game. Have you been able to sort of sit back, look, and evaluate where some of the issues lie, where you've been excelling as a team, and how to remedy those over the next 2 weeks before your first semifinals game?
Yeah, to a certain extent, we've been able to look at it a little bit, but the big reminder I would say is, obviously going into this small FIBA break, is teams carry and bring in new momentum with each break. So, when you look at Melbourne United, they started off very, very hot, 9-0, and then when they came out of the FIBA break, they hit kind of a lull. We were rolling for a large portion of the season, and then we started to hit our lull towards the end. So a positive perspective for us, which me and Mike have talked about, is regardless of how well or how bad we were playing towards the end of this season, we got a FIBA break coming up, so it's going to be a brand new season, and everybody's momentum is washed away, so it's like a fresh restart, and that's the approach that we're taking.
If you look at the numbers, the team seemed to drop off defensively toward the back end of the season. Have you guys recognized that, and are you guys talking, within the four walls about how to potentially sort of remedy that going forward as well?
Yeah, for sure. I think Sunday was probably a huge reminder of that. Obviously, we put up 107 points, but we gave up 111. So offense really has never been the issue for us all year. It's just a matter of, can we crack down and get the right amount of stops when we need them in those spurts in the game where we can probably take a 4 or 6 point lead to 10 or 12.
More specifically, Bryce, you're a great historian of the league. You know that you need to finish in the top 4 to win the championship with defensive rating. You're right now sitting 5th. Say you can only maintain that level. Where else do you pick up points? Where else can you kind of remove that barrier to winning if it's not going to be defensive based?
I mean, I think, one, it's a good question. It's going to have to be defense, but answering that question, the next thing would be just be taking care of the glass. Because sometimes we get the initial stop, and then we'll give up a second chance rebound, and then, you keep giving teams chances they're going to score.
Mike, Bryce gets a lot of minutes, 38 minutes a game. I understand why you need to have him out there. If I was coach, I'd be playing him 40. How do you buy him minutes? How do you buy him moments in games where in the playoffs it's going to be more physical? He's going to need his bounce, his pop for the offensive end.
Yeah, well, it's sort of the old coach's joke, really, to be honest with you, Derek. It's, what am I saving him for the next guy? You know what I mean? He's conditioned. He knows this league better than I know him. To be honest with you, there was a moment in the Perth game the first time where he yelled at me at the end of the third quarter, "Don't sub me the rest of the year." And so I listened. Okay? It's that simple. Yeah, there's windows in the game, though, right? And how you strategically use timeouts or certain substitution patterns. There's always those make or break windows that you need to kind of figure out if you can use it, What I've figured out coaching Bryce is it's easier to go in with a substitution plan than when the game starts because he's looking at you and he's like, "Don't you sub me." And so at times I've got to do that, and I've got to kind of read the game. But, there's a sweet spot for our team and how we play in the style of game for us to win. And that's part of it, too. And some of it's shot quality, and some of it's going to be our transition defense, and some of it's going to be rebounding. But, when we find those windows to rest Bryce will be really, really important. And I'll be actively looking for him as the game goes. But I don't think I have a substitution pattern in my head, and then, the game kind of dictates it.
Mike, I think that Bryce already answered this, but we just had the Jack Jumpers on before. They're facing a sudden death. You've got that time to recalibrate and think about how you're going to do that. What is the game plan for you and the team? And maybe Bryce wants to extrapolate on this a bit more as well, just about what you're going to be doing over the next little while to really set yourself up for those playoffs.
Well, just from a team standpoint, it's a chance for us to kind of unpack our bags. I really feel like we've been on the road since we went to Hoops Fest out in Perth, and we had a lot of road games on the back end of our season. We haven't had 2 home games in a row since we went to Hoops Fest. So I think there's a point for us to get home and unpack and kind of reset a little bit. And last time out of the FIBA break, we came out ready, and we had a really, really good run after the FIBA break. And we'll try to duplicate some of the things that we did in that window from a team concept and see if we can get this thing and hit it right as we get ready for a finals game at home.
Yeah, and as far as getting ready, I'm not the coach, so that's more Mike's expertise right there. I just do what he says.
Bryce, Kendrick took to social media last night with quite a sour reaction and what was a wonderful night for you. I just wanted to see if you were across it and if you wanted to react to a fellow competitor.
Well, back to your original question, I was too busy paying for everybody's drinks, so I didn't catch everything that was said. Sorry about that.
Bryce, so many of the great players go to that next level in finals and playoff basketball. Do you feel as though you can get to that next level, and what do you feel you can provide to this team heading forward?
I mean, time tells all, but at the end of the day, all you can do is be who you are, and I'm not going to try to be anybody that I haven't been these last 33 or 34 games. It's been enough to get us into the top two, and, you know, my effort and my intent is going to be the same, but collectively we know we have to hang our hat on, you know, defense. So that's going to be the area where we're going to have to ramp it up, I would say.
I believe we have a question from Interstate.
Yeah, Mike, just one question quickly from me. Back on Friday night, we talked about going into Sunday's Ignite Cup. You were excited for that, so your team can play in a one-off elimination finals type game before getting to the actual finals. Aside from the result, and you obviously would have liked to win, did you get out of that game what you would have hoped? Was it good preparation for the finals?
Yes, everything but the win. Absolutely. I think I'm constantly still learning about the group. I thought it was really, really important for us to be in that sort of one-game winner-take-all environment. Would have loved to have had the win, but I definitely learned things about the group. And, you know, we got to compete at a really, really high level. I can't duplicate that kind of stuff in practice. We can talk about it. We can come up with scrimmages. But, you know, when you're playing against somebody else and the lights and the scoreboard are on, you know, I thought it was important for the group. And then, you know, we wanted to win. We didn't get to win. And now we've got a few things that we can focus on as we get ready for the finals.
Mike, what did you make of the Coach of the Year vote last night? Quite a few people took to social media wondering why you weren't among the finalists. Do you take anything from that, given that obviously Gorge won and Josh King made the final? Did you feel like you should have been in the mix there?
Probably not a question for me to answer, to be honest with you. I think that's for everybody else to debate. I would say that I was super proud of Bryce being the MVP, which was really a big deal. Flynn Cameron winning the most improved player. I just couldn't be happier for him and all the work that he's done. And then, you know, Zylan Cheatham being on the second team, you know, it was a really, really good night for the Adelaide 36ers, and just super happy for them individually, and then, you know, excited about what we have ahead of us collectively.
Well, we'll let you continue to get that preparation. Probably a little bit of a celebration still as well, understandably so. So good luck for the postseason. Thank you, Bryce. Thank you, Mike, and good luck.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate it.